Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. This is the second lecture of the chapter number 10 of 10th class biology, the gaseous exchange. Here we will discuss the gaseous exchange in humans. Human beings, just like many other animals, show the highest level of organization and have a proper respiratory system. This system consists of the organs which are responsible for ventilation as well as for gaseous exchange. Human beings exhibit both mechanical respiration as well as cellular respiration. And for the sake of understanding, it can be divided into two parts, air passageway and the lungs. Air passageway consists of the parts that make the air reach the lungs. Lungs are the organs where gaseous exchange takes place, and they are lying deep inside the body. So air is drawn in and then released out through this passageway. Here in the flow chart, we are going to understand what parts make up the air passageway. The nasal cavity, pharynx, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles, alveoli. At the alveoli, gases are exchanged, then back to bronchiole, bronchi, trachea, pharynx, nasal cavity, and into the outer environment. Here you can see the air passageway. From the nasal cavity, air passes through the pharynx and then to the larynx. Larynx is the sound box or voice box. This box is made up of cartilage and has vocal cords stretched across it. These bands vibrate when air passes through them and produces sound. You can hear your own sound as hmm. How do we add words to this sound? This is the question. Actually, the movement of lips, cheeks, tongue and jaws produces some specific sounds which results in speech. So now you can experience yourself by producing a sound and then giving words to it. So let's start. This is simply the sound, and when you want to add words to this sound, you have to use your facial muscles. So dil, dil, Pakistan. I hope you get it. Then comes the trachea. This trachea, it bifurcates into two bronchi, which further divide into smaller bronchioles, which end up into the alveoli or air sacs. These alveoli are the actual site of gaseous exchange, and they are also known as gaseous exchange surfaces. Here you can see enlarged view of air passageway, larynx, trachea, which bifurcates into two bronchi. Trachea and bronchi, they have cartilaginous rings which keep the pipes open. And over here we have these alveoli which look like a bunch of grapes. These alveoli basically increase the surface area of the lungs. Here you see that alveoli are richly supplied with blood capillaries. So at the alveoli, oxygen from the air is diffused into the blood, while carbon dioxide from the blood, it comes out into the alveolar cavity. Here you can see just below the lungs there is a muscular sheath which is known as diaphragm, and it has a role in breathing. Now have a quick review of what we have learned by now. Respiratory system, nasal cavity, pharynx, glottis, which is the opening at the floor of pharynx leading to larynx, and it is guarded by a flap, epiglottis, that keeps the food from entering the trachea. Then trachea, which is a tube, bronchi, bronchioles, which end up into alveoli, and the diaphragm. An important feature of airway is the presence of mucus and fine hair that cleanse the air entering your body. Both hair and mucus, they filter and trap the dust particles from the air. Mucus also moistens the incoming air. That's why it is advised to breathe in through your nose and not through your mouth, because no such security measures are present in your oral cavity. The second part of the respiratory system are the lungs. These lungs are spongy, so are protected by rib cage made up of 12 pairs of ribs. The lungs are lined by pleural membranes which have fluid present in between them. This fluid provides lubrication for friction-free contraction and expansion of the lungs. Here you can see how lungs are protected by the rib cage and by the pleural membranes and the pleural fluid. This is the sectional view and you can well understand. Next we discuss breathing, which is a combination of inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation means taking air inside the lungs and exhalation means to get that air out. As breathing is a mechanical process, so it involves intercostal muscles and diaphragm. So let's discuss inhalation first. First of all, diaphragm contracts. As it contracts, so it gets straightened and it comes down from its original curved position. Next, external intercostal muscles contract. These two actions bring the rib cage upwards and outwards. This increases the volume of thoracic cavity and the pressure of air in the lungs decreases, so air moves in. Exhalation is reverse of inhalation. So the muscles which have contracted for inhalation, it's their turn to get relaxed. So diaphragm, it gets curved as it relaxes. It comes to its original curved position. External intercostal muscles, they relax. While internal intercostal muscles, it's their turn to contract. These two actions bring the rib cage down to its original position. It increases the pressure on the lungs as volume of thoracic cavity also decreases. Pressure increases and air goes out of the lungs. This completes one breath. Number of breaths per minute determines the breathing rate. Normal breathing rate of a person is 16 to 20 breaths per minute. It is controlled by the brain. The part of brain that controls breathing rate is medulla oblongata, and it is sensitive to carbon dioxide concentration in the blood. Whenever this concentration increases, the breathing rate will increase to get rid of that extra carbon dioxide from the blood, because carbon dioxide is toxic to the cells. That's why the breathing rate increases when someone is doing some physical work or doing some exercise. We know that breathing movements are involuntary. That means you cannot control these movements. You cannot increase your breathing rate or decrease your breathing rate. But yes, you can do so for a while, but not for long. Here we are going to have a comparison of inspired air and expired air. Amount of oxygen is 21%, which decreases to 16% because some of the air has been absorbed into the blood. Carbon dioxide is 0.04%, which increases to 4%. There is no change in the amount of nitrogen in the expired air and inspired air because it is not absorbed through your lungs. Amount of water vapor is variable in the inspired air depending on the season, depending on the environment. Sometimes it is dry, sometimes it is humid, but it is always saturated in the expired air. Dust particles, variable, almost none in the expired air. Temperature is also variable, but in the expired air it is almost equal to the body temperature. This ends up the topic of gaseous exchange in the humans. In the next lecture, we are going to discuss respiratory disorders. Till then, good luck and Allah Hafiz.